For Eric J on Sports, I'm Eric J, and this is what I think. I previously spoke about the NBA's 65-game requirement rule in order for players to be eligible for postseason awards, and at the time I felt like the rule itself made sense because the NBA was trying to get its top players to play in important games, in the nationally televised games, in the games where the league made the most money. But what I did not know and did not understand until now was that the provisos and the quid pro quos that the NBA placed on these games would still make you ineligible even if you were eligible. Now, understand this. If you're AC Green or you're Randy Smith or you're one of these guys who's chasing a consecutive game streak, the NBA allows you to play 1 minute into a game. As long as you appear, as long as you step on the court for 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, the NBA will round you up to 1 minute and that game will count. That appearance will count as a game played so you can keep your streak alive. You don't actually have to do anything. You just have to hit the court and get your name in the box score. Now, with regards to postseason awards, the rule is slightly different. It says a player must have played in at least 65 regular season games. Now that's easy to understand, 65 regular season games. And then it says, or 62 regular season games have suffered a season-ending injury as determined in accordance with the CBA, and prior to suffering such injury had played in at least 85% of the team's regular season games, which means you can get into 62 of 70-ish games and then suffer a season-ending injury, and then you're out for the rest of the season, and it counts. But here's the twist. To be considered to have played in a regular season game, you have to have played at least 20 minutes in the game, provided that in respect to no more than 2 games per season, you can be considered to have played in the game if you played in at least 15 minutes and fewer than 20. Which means, legitimately, if you're not injured, if you don't suffer a season-ending injury, you have to have played in at least 20 minutes of 63 games and then at least 15 minutes in 2 others. And that counts as your 65. Now, New York Knicks star Dante DiVincenzo, who was one of the leading candidates for Most Improved Player of the Year because he averaged 9.4 points per game last season with Golden State, and now he's averaging 15.5 points a game this season with the Knicks, and is attempting 10.8 threes per 36 minutes and making them at a 40% clip. He's one of the leading candidates for Most Improved Player, but he's not, because according to the rules, he's only appeared in 64 games. And this is even though he stepped on the court in 81 out of 82 games. He's only legitimately appeared in 64 games. In 62 games, he played at least 20 minutes. And in 2 other games, he played at least 15, even though he appeared in 81 games. How is that possible that he could appear in 81 games and not be eligible? Here's why. Because for the purposes of these rules, not a consecutive game streak, for the purposes of these rules, the league is not rounding up. So in a game against the Magic, he missed 20 minutes by 9 seconds. In a game against the Spurs, he missed 20 minutes by 11 seconds. He missed 20 minutes by 20 seconds against the Pelicans, and he missed 20 minutes by 23 seconds against the Heat. Had the league rounded up any of those games to the nearest minute, he would have qualified for the award. But because he didn't, and because in the other 13 games he logged under 15 minutes, he does not qualify for the award, even though he appeared in 81 of 82 games, and he topped 20 minutes 62 times, and he topped 15 minutes 2 more times, and he fell just short of 20 minutes 4 more times. So the league has told DiVincenzo that even though you qualified by appearing in all the games, you were short a few seconds in a couple of instances. And the irony of that is the fact that in one game in the season finale, he played 52 minutes. From January 29th onward, he averaged 38 minutes a game, which is the 3rd highest mark in the league. He finished 48th in total minutes and 3rd on the Knicks, but because he was short less than a minute or less than half a minute in 4 games, he's not eligible to be Most Improved Player, even though he is clearly one of the most improved players in the league. So when I said before that I thought the rule made sense because it got players to play if they wanted the awards and they wanted the max and the supermax contracts, I now slightly amend my stance and say, yes, the rule still makes sense, but the league needs to not be stupid about the rule and count appearances as appearances, not appearances based on the number of minutes you played. The league seemingly does not want to give the awards out. Otherwise, they wouldn't put so many stipulations and so much extreme criteria towards qualifying. If you show up and you play, then you should be eligible for these awards. But the league doesn't feel that way. And so several players who could have been Sixth Man of the Year, or who could have been Most Improved, or who could have been the All-Defensive Team, or any of these other awards will now not qualify, because though they appeared in all of the games, they played short minutes in some of them. And the league determined that they hadn't played enough, even though they played, which in my opinion is even more ridiculous than requiring them to play in the first place. Remember to like and share this video and subscribe to this channel, and visit the Eric J on Sports website, and follow me on Facebook at Eric J on Sports 1 and on Instagram and Twitter at Eric J on Sports. And for Eric J on Sports, I'm Eric J, and this is what I think.